Now though, Tazza, it's your time to shine, and obviously, trying time to you this week. You're not in your usual habitat, but
No.
can you deliver the goods
Oh,
in Taz's stats of the round?
look, I've got a handful here. I've gone quality over quantity, I believe.
Oh, very good.
So yeah. We'll kick it off with one. We saw today the Easter Monday clash, Geelong v Hawks,
Yes.
and it's not a clash that we've become accustomed to being a cellar dweller clash. It's usually
No.
been a battle of the Titans, a clash of the Titans. But today it wasn't. In talking about that, the biggest crowds for a VFL AFL game for a bottom of the table clash, they shattered the record today. So it was 52,000 was the previous record. Geelong and Hawthorn today, 65,335,000.
Yes, and
Uh,
they were witness to an absolutely shit game of football.
yeah, it was pretty awful. It was good to half time.
Yeah. Hawks were surprisingly in it. I didn't watch this live. I checked it back after the fact, and I went, "What's going on here?"
I I watched it to halftime, and I thought that the Hawks, the Hawks are in the thick of it. They're absolutely in with a chance. And I ducked out for about 20 minutes, and Geelong were up by 6 goals. So yeah, I don't know. They fell apart, and that's going to happen with young teams. But Geelong, not going to say they're back, but they definitely looked a lot better.
We expected Geelong to put in that sort of performance, and yeah, going back to what we just spoke about, that's part of the reason why I don't see Fremantle making finals, because I think if you
Yeah.
out of the 1 and 3 teams that are left, the Cats are the one that are getting in. So
Yeah, the stats stack up against them. So yeah, you're probably right. We spoke about Port. Their win against Sydney.
You
It
must
was.
be up and about.
I was. Ollie Florence kick. I thought that was going in, and I was spitting it. I saw it, and I had flashbacks of Jordan Dawson in the showdown.
Flashbacks of
Thinking,
Jeremy
no.
McGovern, flashbacks of Luke
All of
Shuey. It's
those.
happened a lot.
We've been on the wrong end of a lot of after the siren kick, so it was good to see one kind of go our way. But yeah, Aliria at the death and some poor goal line defending from Sydney got them over the line. But so this is a bit of a niche one. Sydney wins versus each team since the start of 2017.
Right.
You've got GWS, North, Saints, 7. Got a sort of a few teams, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3 games against Sydney.
As in
Port,
Sydney have won.
yes. Sydney haven't beat Port for the in 7 games.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's by far their bogey team. I was quite surprised by that. I like to think I know our better teams and our bogey teams, and I did not think Sydney was one.
That's an interesting stat. Is
So,
there a reason for that? Is there a...
well, I mean, you would think if it was a matchup, a venue matchup, you'd think they would have broken it. I mean, out of all games, you'd think they'd be breaking it
Yeah.
on Saturday night, but no, they definitely didn't give it a run there. Well, they almost did, but
Yeah.
didn't quite get across the line.
Do you think that this has got something to do with Ken lifting when he knows that he's under the pump? Do the boys lift for Ken? I think because I think that's probably a bigger part of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, absolutely, and I reckon it's also got something to do with the McCartan brothers going down.
Yeah, well, that's another story too. Isn't it?
Yeah, I don't want to get too pumped up about Port because I'll probably get rolled by the Bulldogs at Adelaide Oval. Gather round. So, and we'll be back to square one. Ken getting sacked, but look, we'll enjoy it for a week. I've learned not to get too hyped up about this.
The highs and lows of a Port Adelaide supporter. I love it.
It is very high and very low.
Yeah.
The biggest crowds for the first 10 matches played at the MCG in the VFL AFL season. It's been a huge attendance record for 20 AFL season 2023. They've beaten the previous record of 612,000 by almost 50,000. They're at 661,000 for the first 10 games played at the MCG this season.
Yeah.
So,
And there's been some good fixtures too.
They have. So yeah, you look at the fixtures. Maybe that's sort of got them there. But I mean, people are turning up, and that's the main thing. People want to get out there and watch. So it's good for the AFL. They'll be loving it. Stuffs the coffers for them, and they're flush with cash.
Absolutely, Gill leaving things in a good position. You'd have to say.
You'd have to say, yeah. I haven't heard much about that, so I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, I think he's just it's John Farnham. He keeps going.
He does, yeah.
The ongoing farewell to it.
Yeah, maybe he won't go. Maybe he's just be like Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. I'm not leaving. I'm not gonna say the full quote on air. Sure, otherwise, I might be in a bit of trouble.
I'm sure the chat will let us know. I love it. Very good.
All right, we've all seen the Shees. Harry Sheezel.
She's nuts. Absolutely, he's on fire.
He's had a huge start to his career. So huge, it's the most disposals after 4 career games in the VFL/AFL.
Unsurprising.
It's absolutely unsurprising.
Definitely odds on for the rising star. Well, is he? I saw Ashcroft might have got a bit of love in the odds. Not that we gamble. BT's our man on that front.
Yeah, it depends which way you read it. I mean, whenever you're racking up 30-odd disposals, well, he'd be averaging what? That's 31.
Yeah.
Probably almost 32. You've got to be close. You've got to be in front. But what Ashcroft's doing is pretty good. I mean, totally different positions.
Yeah.
You could argue that.
Both elite from an AFL fantasy point of view. And that's the main thing that we care about. You know, aside from their good output on the field, keep putting in those performances for the boys. We need that.
Cash cows. We love them.
Yes.
And I've got one. This is a very obscure stat here to round this segment off. Give it. I'll put it out to the comments for a minute if they can guess. It's a duo one. Most opportunities for brothers on opposing VFL AFL sides to play each other without it happening at least once.
We're talking about
we've obviously seen
the McKay brothers. Well, not even brothers; they're the same person.
Yeah, they're the same person. We've poked that many holes through them being brothers. They're absolutely the same person. So they're at number 8. They're up to number 3.
Yeah.
In the list. There were 2 sets of brothers, one at 9 and one at 10, who have missed out on playing more. Can you guess them, or the comment section? I want to see.
Consecutively to start the career, or just in general?
I don't think it's consecutively. I think it's just in general.
Okay, and do you think these are 2 more recent sort of sets of brothers that we would know? Or yeah, okay.
The number 10 is very obscure, but 9, none of these guys are superstars at all, but they're definitely floating around in the AFL. None of them are in the AFL, I'll give you that, anymore. But they floated around for a fair bit.
We got the Selwood brothers maybe floating around there, the Carr brothers. Okay, I'm not sure.
Okay, I can't see the comments, so I don't know if anyone suggested anything, but
no one.
If they haven't. Okay. At number 9, we had Troy and Daniel Menzel.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And this number 10 threw me off big time. Nick and Ed Lower.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very obscure.
Jeez, yeah. The Brown brothers, says Lenza. The Brown brothers, are they in there? I'm trying to figure out which Brown brothers he's talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's been 2 blokes called Brown that haven't been able to play in the same game as each other, but they might not be brothers.
You'd have to imagine
so. Very common surname.
You'd have to imagine so.